present our study and our plan to you about how we can better serve our suspended students. Just for introduction purposes, I want to let you know that Brad Parson is an assistant principal in the district, Tom Alderman is an assistant principal in the district, and I'm Rhonda Scott, and I'm also an assistant principal in the district. So some of you may know already, because you've heard on the radio or saw something on TV or online or read an article yourself, that there is a suspension crisis in our country. This poses some moral issues and potential legal risks for districts, even here in the state of Missouri. A simple Google search on the topic of suspensions in the state, or just suspension crisis, yields results for studies from the Civil Rights, the Office of Civil Liberties, Southern Poverty Law Center, National Association of School Boards, and a host of other articles that will cite the studies those organizations have done. And they all tell us what we already know, and that is when a student is suspended, it has a negative impact on their education and their chances for a better future. Research shows that students in this country lose 18 million days of instruction annually, with Florida leading all states, and this is a very recent study. Another study shows that suspension numbers have increased dramatically over the last 30 years, including dramatic increases in the number of suspensions from elementary to middle school and high school, those different levels having different increases, as well as significant increases in racial groups, gender, and socioeconomic status, that while suspension rates have increased dramatically for all of those groups, they've risen more for some racial groups and lower socioeconomic and gender groups. And so that poses and can begin to pose a civil rights issue. And that's a very hot topic right now across our country in many places, not just school. Currently, Missouri is #1 in the nation with the highest suspension rates for black students in elementary, and #4 in the nation for suspension rates for black students in the secondary schools. So while this is an issue for certain groups, it's an issue for all students. And these facts present a moral imperative and pose legal risks for districts who suspend students with no real adequate access to educational services. Recently in the state of Missouri, not too long ago, there was a case that defined double jeopardy when you were suspending students and giving them that consequence, then also taking away their educational opportunities is just a double whammy, if you will, and certainly not fair and would not be allowed to stand. And so the state of Washington in 2009 provides an excellent model and kind of philosophical framework for how we can go about doing this, and that, along with data that we've studied from our own district, is what we want to present to you this evening. In Washington, an organization called Team Child paired up with some legal interns and some lawyers, and the result of their study, re-engaging children that